Hello everyone and welcome to our I Pick My Butt video. More Archero today and Chapter 28 Hero Mode finally completed. Glad to knock this one off the bucket list here. I am going in with 36,500 attack, which may seem like it's a little bit high, but for the staff, it kind of seems like I'm having a hard time hitting some of them, and they do seem a little bit tanky. Now, we did gear up Ricochet first thing, which is a great ability to grab first, especially with these bees. They can be really annoying. Even when I get diagonal arrows, it still seems to be a little bit of a struggle going up against them. You probably saw my video maybe, I don't know, a week or so ago where I was just running around in circles trying to kill the little bees in order to get my ult to pop the ult and then kill the little bees again and pop the ult a second time. It can be really frustrating if you don't have Ricochet first thing. So if you see that, grab it. Now, you've probably seen that I've been posting some Kinja Run videos. I'm going to do the best I can to kind of stagger videos between Kinja Run and Archero for as long as I'm having fun with it. Honestly, the game feels like what Archero felt to me like when it first came out. It's bringing me a lot of joy, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So plan on continuing to make videos on it. Honestly, coming into this and having these new abilities, it was actually really annoying playing this chapter. I was going to make the ability video just kind of breaking all of them down, but I spent quite a amount of time of doing it, and I realized that a lot of them were still broken. So you might still see that in the future, but for the most part, I'm not really a fan of these new abilities. And the Angelic Blessing there, it looked to be great to grab, but we're not going to be running into any angels on this, so it's not really going to be doing me any good. At least I don't remember running into any angels. Now the Golem, we know how to get rid of him. Obviously, go for the mobs you see there first. Those scarecrows can be a huge pain in the butt, so I'm going to try to focus on them. These first couple of chapters, first couple of stages, I should say, I'm not too worried about taking hits because I kind of want to build up that ult meter. And then the other thing that I kept on running into this was they kept on wanting to throw the purple mushrooms at me. I do not want to face those at all, so anytime I saw one of those, I was just going to re-roll the bosses. And in case you've never seen any of my videos before or you don't know how to re-roll, simply force close the game, go back in, hit confirm that you want to re-enter the chapter. Before you walk into that next boss room, force close the game again, and then do the same thing. Confirm and enter. When you go in, there should be another boss. I did actually have to do it a couple of times on the purple ones because for some reason it just kept on wanting me to give them, so I actually went and re-rolled 3 times on it in order to get past them. The other boss that I try to avoid in this is the Crimson Witches. That's going to be one where it's pretty much a sure death for me every time I get them. I always get a little cocky every now and then and said, oh, let me see if I can beat them, and then I end up dying. They throw 3 Crimson Witches on this short little map, and they do that little charge thing at you, and it's just a pain in the butt overall. So this guy here, you see we're going to drop him pretty soon. Could have used the ult here, but I said, you know what, we're going to save it on the next one. And I think the next one we actually got maybe was the Wolves, or, you know, it was Taro, if you see this. You have to tell me the guy's name. The guy that throws the bomb and has the big hammer thing that goes and slams at you. The one you can kind of just spin around and hit with your orbs or your strikes. You know, just kind of cheese him there. But at any rate, this guy right here. Wish I could remember his name, but that's always the case. We'll just call him the white skeleton with the shield and the big mace. Yeah, that works. But at any rate, if you guys never faced him before, you know, I think I do it here for a little bit. Just kind of run circles. It makes it a little bit difficult with the water on here. And this chapter had a lot of that actually. Just strategically placed water that kept me from being able to dodge, and I was running into it and getting stuck. So maybe if I saw a water walker, I would have grabbed it. Probably not, knowing the abilities that I wanted to get. But you can do that. It's great if you have a couple of orbs or even the strikes, like I said, or even the sword. Spinning swords are a good way to go too. But we're just going to kind of take a shot, move, take another shot, and move. And that's really all it is. Sometimes I can sneak in 2 of them on it, and that kind of speeds up the process a little bit better. But this guy really isn't a threat as much as he used to be. I mean, back in the day when we first ran into him, it's like, oh my god, this guy is so annoying. The only thing that was really getting me was when he goes and does the hammer slam, and then you see the 3 kind of I don't know, it's like a fiery lightning bolt, I guess. That one I can never really predict on it, and that usually ends up getting me hit, and they do hit pretty hard in this. I am wearing the golden chest plate, though, so that is going to give some damage reduction. And, of course, we are going in with 2 lion rings because it's a boss board, and who doesn't like the extra 10% attack from just throwing 2 rings on? I know I do. I love seeing that attack number up high. Now, the other enemies that I ran into, which I think the next one we're going to get is the wolves. You get the one wolf that jumps, and then the other one that's going to run at you or do the charge. Obviously, the one that jumps 3 times. The one that goes and dashes at you is going to dash 4 times. So you just kind of count it out. Every one you take, you just kind of shoot in between, and it's not too bad. probably one of my easiest bosses, I would probably say, in this here. This one also has a lot of the towers, the double towers there that, you know, from Chapter 12, I think it was. But they can be a little tricky as far as in hero mode because they have the, what do you call it? Just maybe a laser beam or a fire laser beam that is going to spin. And when you get two of those on there, you don't really have a lot of good areas to kind of hide. You're kind of focused on being in like a tiny little square almost. But okay, it was this guy instead of the wolves. This guy I actually hate. This version of him, he is going to throw a bomb every now and then, which the bomb I was doing fine. As far as the little flames things here, I keep on forgetting the names of everything. I'm terrible at this, but these aren't too bad. Let them hit the wall, just kind of do a little circly thing around. The bomb, I don't think I got hit by it, but the fact that it bounces twice just screws me up for some reason. And the projectiles, they're tough to see. The ones, well, they're all projectiles, but the little red ball that he hits the wall with, and it'll split in a bunch of different directions. Usually I'm good at dodging that one. I think I was just playing really sloppy. I really haven't been playing too much Archero because of Kingdom Run, but I will say I still do my daily clan task there, if anything, just to kind of keep that going, because I still do want to get Guju to 7 stars by the end of the year, and we're still on path for it, so that's a good thing too. The other weird thing, this was not my first run, but I kept on having a lot of reset the skills, and it was giving me the add not ready yet or network error, which was kind of annoying because, once again, new skills, I don't want to use them. I want my basic, you know, diagonal, my multi-shot and stuff like that. So that was kind of frustrating to see too. The other thing is once I finally got far enough in here, I was able to grab a second multi-shot. I kind of paused on the screen for a little bit and like, do I want to take this? Do I not want to take it? And I said, you know what? It's a second multi-shot. Why wouldn't I take it? Let's have some fun with this. And it really just made it where I could kind of just cream through the bosses. I hate going up against these cactuses because you'll get the one that jumps on top of the other, and they just do this kind of like weird slide across the screen. You never really know where they're going to go. Bouncy wall there, of course, no brainer. If you saw my pro tips, or not my pro tips, my best of or best 10 abilities or God mode, that's what it was. Geez, I'm getting old. I can't remember anything more. But that was one of the ones that was in there. Got to utilize that. And here's the wolves right here. So even this, I mean, I usually am like flawless on this, get through pretty good. But for some reason, wife came in, started talking to me, so I had to just cut that little extra time out of there. She just came back from the store. It's like, I'm playing my video games, playing Archero. Leave me alone. Not really. So I paused and took a second to listen. But usually here, I'm usually a little bit more like precise on this. I don't take any hits. The only thing I really get kind of tricked out on this is when you kill the one that jumps, he will then spawn the wolf clones. And for the longest time, I always think that they were on my side until they started doing damage to me. And then it was kind of like, okay, I got to run from those things. But you figure every 12 moves that these guys do, they're both going to be sitting there still, and that's a good time to kind of just blast them. But really, I just kind of move slightly out of the way. It's the same thing with the Scythe Mages, which, by the way, the end bosses, I believe, is the double Sandanians, it's the Potato with Wings, or it's going to be the double Scythes. I probably would go for the double Mages on it, but honestly, once I got that second multi-shot, I was just like, oh, let's just see where it goes. I went in the room, kind of saw I was just kind of melting them right away, and it's like, okay, we'll just go with it. But if I wasn't melting, I would have forced closed, try to reroll for those mages. So we got those guys down, and I think the next one here is probably going to be the tower, which not a lot of choices here that I like, so we're just going to take the giant on it. And once again, there's the purple mushrooms again, going back in, and the towers. So this is what I was talking about here. They're going to spin. You can see I'm kind of crammed down there, and my worst enemies ever, the bombers, they'll just kind of keep on blasting at me. So Guju really coming through with his owls and just kind of tanking a lot of those hits for me. But this first one went down pretty quick. Once you get the first one down, the second one isn't too bad because it really frees up a lot of space, and the spinning laser is a little bit easier. But once again, this was a really sloppy, messy run for me. I'm not going to complain that I beat it, but I was a little embarrassed. You know, it's like, oh, geez, Pick, you're losing your touch on this here. You haven't played the game. You're spending too much time swiping left and right in Kingdom Run. So I am playing that a lot because I know that Kingdom Run's gonna be a lot like what they did with Punball and Archero. They're gonna keep on stacking and throwing more things in, and I'm just gonna try to beat it as fast as I can and just kind of sit on the top. I wish I would have done that with Archero, although Archero was a little bit different. I mean, It sounds like it was a lot easier at the beginning, but without all the hero upgrades and, you know, the extra heroes to begin with, there wasn't a lot in there, and the game was very challenging. But Kinja Run seems to be pretty fast-paced. It doesn't seem to be too terribly hard. I mean, there's 50 stages on it, 50 chapters, I should say. I'm already at like 28 or so for it being a week old. So I want to get to the top, see where I sit, and then that'll give me a little bit more free reign to decide what I want to do with videos. And as far as this right here, you can see we just killed him. We're going to take the devil here. There's that second multi-shot. And like I said, this was really kind of just a, you know, thinking to myself of, do I want to take the second multi-shot and just have everybody in the video say, oh, so in order to beat this, I got to get a second multi-shot, you know, good luck. Or, you know, those times where I would die and then I'd get the extra life and everybody would be like, oh, so that's how you beat it. You know, you just got to get an extra life and just hope you can live through it. So I was avoiding that, but I didn't think you guys would do that to me. But now that I probably mentioned it, I'm going to probably get a couple comments in there just saying that. So once again, another tower here, you know, I'm going to take it. I guess I'd rather take this than having the double mushrooms, but this one went a little bit faster. Now that we got that double multi-shot there, it is kind of melting. So I think the last one is probably going to be the final one here, which is going to be the potatoes. And I did grab Bloodthirst on here, or was that maybe another run? Well, at any rate, if you do go up against the potatoes there, grab the Bloodthirst. It's a great one to have when you go and they spawn all the little guys out there, especially pairs really well with the Ricochet. But as you can see, we're going to pretty much just go in, and maybe this one wasn't? No, Rage, that was what I grabbed. I was like, oh yeah, you know, can't pass up that after I just made a video about, you know, being on one of the top ones there. But you'll see it, look, it's just like, they just start dropping projectiles going through. We're going to pop the ult here in a second, and it's nothing too bad at all. But you guys all know how the potatoes are with their spawns, and then obviously those little green dots, those are going to be a pain too. So this is what I had for you guys. So hopefully I'll make something a little bit more constructive here over the weekend. I am on call for work, which means I might be a little busier. But join the Discord. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and remember, I pick my butt.